Week 10 of Friday Night Enzall, also producing one of the biggest Jefferson District games in more than 15 years. The district title on the line, playoff seeding. Why not just throw in homecoming just to top it all off?
A big student section as always here at Krzyzewskiville as we're getting ready for tip-off between UVA and Duke. Now, if you combine the last three coaches, Pete Gillen, Dave Lato, and Tony Bennett, they all have a combined 1 win here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Hundreds poured out onto the streets of downtown Mineral for the Louisa County Hometown Homecoming Parade as the Lions prepare for one of the biggest Jefferson District games in 15 years. As Albemarle takes a visit out to the jungle tonight. Now hundreds were out on the streets last night for the parade, but we're expecting thousands here tonight. Talking to Louisa County AD George Stanley, maybe getting up to 4,000. One of the newest Wahoos, Sam Burnell, a familiar face for many of you here for Cavalier tip-off. Now, Sam, let's start with what has been the biggest surprise, moving from those seats that you used to sit in as a kid to being on the court, wearing this uniform now as a Cavalier?
Yeah, it's incredible. I was just saying a little bit ago to somebody, I would never expected my journey to take me to where I've been.
Tonight, just a few moments ago, we spoke to UVA head coach Tony Elliott and UVA director of athletics Carla Williams. Obviously a very somber mood. Elliott just coming from the hospital where he was checking in with running back Mike Hollins, who is in stable condition. Reese Beekman said he got a text yesterday afternoon, and he said it was from his mom. And his mom was asking, did he have any tickets for the game? Of course, Mom. Of course he's got tickets for the game for you. His mom from Baton Rouge hopped on a plane and was here in the crowd tonight at Cameron Indoor Stadium to watch her son hit a game-winning three from right here behind me. Funniest teammate?
Garrett Spikes.
Messiest teammate?
Still Garrett Spikes.
You're really throwing him under the bus here. Most important question, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes, it is a sandwich. It's got bread on the side, so it's got to be a sandwich.
NIL almost feels like that episode of Oprah where she's just giving away everything. You get a deal, you get a deal, you get a deal. Everyone gets a deal. 64 teams make the NCAA tournament, but at the end of the day, only one truly ends their season happy. And for UVA, their season comes to an end here in Greenville, and with the abrupt ending come a lot of emotional goodbyes for players. The word of the week is spelled B-U-B-B-L-E. That's bubble for you Wordle fans out there. A bunch of teams in the ACC tournament came in on that bubble coming into this week. We are joined by none other than UVA associate head coach and wide receivers coach Marcus Hagans. Marcus, first of all, I got to start with, what's this time of year like for you as a coach, especially with a new head coach, a new coaching staff around you? For North Carolina native, of course, Jaden Gardner, the home of the ACC tournament is Greensboro for him, just about an hour away from where he grew up. He remembers in middle school the teachers turning on just that little TV in the corner of the classroom on so they could watch the ACC tournament during class. By the time he got to high school, though, he was sneaking looks on his cell phone. Houston, the Las Vegas tournament, he also had Michigan, so a lot of tough early games, but I'm going to hit you with the toughest question right now. You've got behind us these jerseys right here, the women's, the men's. Which one are you picking?
Well, I'm going to pick the women's, mostly to be politically correct.
On another Saturday afternoon, UVA players were supposed to gather at Scott Stadium to play another game with their teammates and friends, Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. Instead, they gathered at John Paul Jones Arena to memorialize them and to not remember the way they died, but to remember the way they lived.
Max, you're hitting live.
Okay, it's good to see you. The game of baseball creates a lifelong bond, with friendships going back to Little League for Aiden Peters. And when he steps on the mound, there's also a sense of control.
I can just slow things down and just kind of take a pause if I'm getting worked up, but also if I'm just like kind of getting in a groove, I can just keep going.
In his first full varsity season, Peters was leading Charlottesville in ERA as a sophomore.
Absolute filth. He's just been pitching for so long. He's so deceptive, and like many people have said, he's got that nasty changeup.
Nagging hip and back issues took their toll, at times leaving him unable to sit or even stand.
It was kind of like a shooting nerve pain that would like go down my leg
kept playing baseball, and he did really extraordinarily well. He was playing varsity as a sophomore, and he led the team in earned run average by a wide margin. Probably in the back of my mind is kind of like, well, how bad could it be? He's doing awesome.
The pain became unbearable on a family trip over the summer. In the fall, Aiden had lost 50 pounds, and the Peters family were met with an all-too-familiar diagnosis: cancer, Ewing sarcoma.
I had some suspicions that it might have been because both my parents have had cancer in the past. And so that's always kind of been an anxiety of mine. Getting all of those kind of worries confirmed was just kind of world-crushing.
I could tell you, having a child with cancer is about 1,000 times worse than having it yourself.
Got it? During an incredibly isolating journey, though, Aiden has felt the support of the Little League family he grew up with.
There's something about baseball that really does, I don't know if it's, parents watching the games together or what it is, but I mean, you make bonds with people.
It kind of reinforces the feeling that I'm still part of the community and that I'm still loved and supported.
In their final home game, Charlottesville will lace them up, with their teammate wearing shoelaces which have raised thousands to support the Peters family.
I'm really able to play for something bigger than me, for this whole season I have been, but wearing those and bringing a piece of, my boy on the field with me is just, can't even put it into words, it's just emotional.
Nearing the end of treatment, Aiden is set on finding a way back to the mound with the same joy and control he's had since Little League.
I've just been really eager to do it the whole time, and so kind of like a kid just running out there all excited and ready to kick some butt and take some names.
I've been fishing basically since I grew up, since I knew how to.
No regular football bag here.
Me and my family, we would go out down Alligator Alley. The whole family, we'd go out and catch coolerfulls of bluegill. So if we get one on here, it's definitely gonna be a good sized fish, so let's see what we can do.
You'd never expect to find the same boisterous, sideline dancing Anthony Johnson on a quiet pond outside Charlottesville.
It just was something I grew to love, something to do outside of football. It's real calm, real relaxing, just being out in the water. Gotta get one on TV, man. You're on TV now.
Although fishing can be a release from football, Johnson's unwavering self-belief is just as evident.
Always confident, man, in everything that I do. I think that just comes with being a defensive back, though. Either a defensive back thing or a personality thing. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Even with a busy football schedule, Johnson has found pockets of time this year to cast a line, even getting a few teammates hooked.
I fish with KT and Billy Kemp. Those are the guys I normally fish with. It may have been too early for them, I don't know. Probably still in bed asleep. I kick their butt out here on the fishing creek too, so they get the best of both worlds. They get it out here on the lake and on the field.
On this summer day before fall camp, though, football is far from the mind.
Just get to relax, get off my feet, just get my mind mentally ready for fall camp. Taking it in that this is my last fall camp ever, so I don't think it's hit me yet.
From an early age fishing with his grandfather, Johnson's learned many of life's lessons with a rod in hand.
I can see now I might not get many bites, so I gotta make them count when I get them. But if it's somebody like me, who know you're gonna catch it regardless, it's just only a matter of time then. Oh, I got one. Nothing to brag about, but it's a fish. Nice bass there. Told you I was gonna get one. See, now I can talk crap now.
While AJ sets his focus on a final season at UVA and his parents prepare for a possible future in the NFL, Johnson wants fishing to be a part of any plan.
That's the plan post-football, maybe even during if I can manage it. I want to open my own bait and tackle down in South Florida. Just another way to give back to the community as well.
One bad play can ruin any Saturday afternoon, but not much trips up Johnson out here.
The saying goes, a bad day of fishing is better than a good day in the office, so I'd rather much do this than be in the office, I can tell you that.
At 5'9", 170 pounds, Nelson County's Adonijah Hubbard is not your typical linebacker. Not that it really matters.
We played Little League football together. When I first seen him, honestly, I was scared. And he was an aggressive kid, honestly. This man started, like, when he plays, he plays. It was crazy.
Just whatever that internal thing is that I got to go, and he goes pretty hard.
The internal drive is a need to play. Hubbard said he struggles to watch games on TV because of the desire to be on the field.
I go. That's the spirit of a linebacker that some people don't really show, and I got it. Instead of like cutting out and running away from contact, I go to it. I want it. I look for it. I love it. The boom, the chaos. It's like a beautiful chaos in a way.
Little gets in the way of Adonijah playing football. Not even the fact he was born without a left hand.
I more started realizing it as I got into like elementary school. People started asking more and more questions. You know, I'd give them some kind of story like the dog bit it off or it was in a shark attack.
What could hold most back, Hubbard embraces, using his left arm to hold off blockers, and numerous coaches have had their eyes opened on his ability to make plays.
Well, Adonijah plays hard. I mean, you wouldn't know there's anything different about him. He's a regular kid out there. He hustles around and does a good job and is always tries to be physical.
Do the most to be the most. You know, some of the best players in history of any sport, they did the most. It's not just they were the most. No, they did the most. They worked out different. They grew up different. They went through things.
Adonijah still plans on a future in football after his final season at Nelson County because he can't imagine a life without the game.
An outlet for me. It's something where like the stresses, the struggles, the doubts, complete sad side of life, it kind of just disappears.
The field has become a haven in recent years for Hubbard in times of tremendous loss. After seeing grandparents, cousins, and teammates pass away to COVID, the flu, and cancer.
It was such a wide variety of age that was just gone. And this is people that I would see at the cookouts sometimes every single week. Just, you can't see, the only way you're gonna see them is you go up to the cemetery.
As soon as that happened, I know like he was off a little, and then next year came, he started competing even harder for them. When you look at him, it's really inspirational. This man's like going 100% every single play, and you can see, like you can tell.
You don't have the number next, right?
What number?
6.
Oh, nah, I feel like that's your number. That's stay your number.
Despite life's hurdles, perceived disabilities, or saying goodbye to loved ones, Hubbard has always lived to do the most.
I try not to get sad on it. I try to celebrate. Like, what did they teach you? Like, my grandma Jane taught me how to put on my socks. So it's, you know, because you don't have 2 hands. If they didn't want you to keep living, they wouldn't have taught you all these things. They wouldn't have gave you all these good experiences.